I know this is not a cooking show. Okay? This is not a cooking show. But I told you about 4 weeks ago that I stopped eating bread. Now, when somebody tells you that they stopped eating bread, especially somebody like me, um, in inverted commas, stopped eating bread it just doesn't mean that actually the person has actually literally stopped eating bread completely. It just means that they generally are not eating bread. So there's been the odd occasion. I've had the odd hamburger here and there. I've had the odd pizza. But I would say I've cut down my bread consumption by 99%. There you go. So, Damon, you may be asking Damon, what are you doing for breakfast? So I came up with something quite exciting, quite, I think, a little bit innovative. You may argue it's not innovative, but so what I do is I fry 3 eggs, not 2 eggs. Because if you just fry 2 eggs with no toast, with no bread, it's just like, doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a full meal. I know, it's all in the mind. Got to cut, it's a problem, I know. So I fry the 3 eggs, and then what do afterwards? I grate mature cheddar over the egg, and then a dab of chutney. And then I mix the chutney into the cheese, and the cheese gets partially melted. Quite a bit of it gets melted. Delicious. And then a little bit extra, I sprinkle a little bit of cashew nuts. Cashew nuts, you might think, Damon, what are you, the Guptas? I know. Cashew nuts, hell of a luxury. So here's the thing. I go to Dis-Chem. And they sell these split cashews. So it's not a whole cashew. Cashews that are broken apart. It's normally $1.99 for a kilogram. They're now on a 20% special. It's gone down to $1.54 for a kilogram. That's their special at the moment. Take advantage of the special. Cashew nuts, very, very healthy. Sprinkle a bit of cashew nuts. Delicious on the side. And then, okay, I went a bit overboard. Bernice went and she got some cheese blintzes yesterday. Okay, I ate two cheese blintzes as well. Okay, that's where I lost control. I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm full. I'm all gassy, but hopefully I won't eat much today. I think I'm doing okay. I think I'm getting there. The weight is slowly going down. Let me tell you, my knee is feeling brilliant. My knee has never felt better. But anyway, I don't know whether you saw the story. I just saw the story this morning. North Korea has fired, listen to this, North Korea has fired an unidentified projectile into the sea off its northern coast. This is according to South Korea's military. It's interesting. South Korea tell you what North Korea don't make the announcement. They don't tell you they fired an unidentified projectile into the sea off its northern coast. South Korea tell us. And then it says no further details were given, but I can just, I heard a little bit of a rumor. The unidentified projectile, one of Kim Jong-un's uncles. I'm not sure of his name. I think it's Uncle Uno. So what happened? So the Uns are having dinner last night, and they're tucking into the pork ribs. And Kim Jong-un says, everybody aren't the pork ribs delicious? Uncle Uno says, but dry. Turns out that Kim Jong-un's sister made the pork ribs. It's a traditional old family recipe brought down from dynasty to dynasty to dynasty. It's a secret sauce. Uncle Uno, he should have known better. So anyway, it was Uncle Uno who was the unidentified projectile. yes, why didn't they put him against the wall and fire, like, take a big, huge machine gun and just blast him to pieces, like some of the other previous uncles that have stood out of line? So Uncle Uno, he went pew pew, and Uncle Uno will not complain about the pork ribs any longer. And look, Uncle Uno has learned his lesson. In those last 45 seconds of his life, he knew, he learned, okay, don't ever criticize the food. You never know who cooked it. Have you seen Kim Jong-un's sister? She looks pretty austere. Is austere the right word? No, she looks like a serious person. She looks like a serious person. Nobody to be trifled with. Oh, she also makes a good trifle, but they only do the trifle on Christmas, once a year. So I think everybody in the UN gathering has learnt their lesson. Well, they should have. I mean, they should know that you cannot. You gotta watch your step. You know, even in normal civilized families that don't kill each other, you know, you got to be. Yes, you won't die, but just be nice. Just be careful what you say about people's food. The food is always nice. If you don't even like, always have seconds, even if it's a bit dry. And that's always my go-to. That's my default. Always have seconds. It can be difficult if someone has done something really poor. Their performance in the kitchen has been below par and very disappointing and poor. Depends on your relationship. You could say, Edna, delicious, but I preferred what you did last time. Yeah. She won't kill you, but maybe, a little bit of constructive criticism. Some people can handle constructive criticism. Anyway. Oh, bit of feedback. I carried on quite a lot, and I won't carry on too much about the whole Facebook thing. But just to give you a follow-up, to keep you updated with what's happening with the whole Facebook thing. And, I've been making friends with people on Facebook, left, right, and center. Just to summarize, people take this friend thing like literally. They think we're friends. Do you know what somebody did? Somebody who I friended, somebody in America or some overseas country, this person phoned me. They Facebook phoned me at 1:45 or 2:15 or 2:30 on Saturday morning. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? They phoned me. What are we going to talk about? We don't know each other. What do you want to say to me? Hey, you're not offering me a green card. Chances are you don't have a green card. Chances are you're an illegal. Yeah, they took away the word alien, by the way, in America. They're not using the word illegal alien anymore because the word alien exudes like sort of evil, nefarious, something harmful. The aliens have invaded. And you think of the movie with Sigourney Weaver, Alien, where they pop out of your abdomen. So anyway, that person got blocked. I must tell you, it was a pleasure. It was a real pleasure blocking that person. I got a lot of nachas blocking that person. Somebody else I should have blocked, but I just ignored him. This guy, some guy in Israel, I looked at a photo of him. Looked like a normal guy. He just started rambling on, talking to me, sending me stories, and eventually he gave up on me. Thank God. If he carried on longer, I would have blocked him. Lot of people, lot of lonely people out there, just crazy people who want to talk, who want to communicate with me. Can you imagine? I'm not the only one. Must be lots of people out there. Wow. Speaking about crazy, did you see what happened in Durban yesterday? So several groups marched to the Durban High Court and they took their masks. You know, the masks to protect us against COVID-19? They threw their masks down and some of the masks got even burnt. And some of them even said that the masks were akin to German ruler Adolf Hitler. Asking people to wear these masks is like making people wear the yellow star. Apparently it was a group of about 200 people, including members of the Mkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association. I thought that group had been disbanded. Mkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association was disbanded. But they keep on going. Imagine you're part of a group and it gets disbanded. Hey? I suppose nobody can stop you. They can disband in your group. They can delete it off their records. But you've still got some friends. You've still got the uniform. No one's to stop you to carry on. We, the Mkhonto we Sizwe Military Veterans Association. And then there's some other organizations, the People's Revolutionary Movement, the Unemployed Graduate Movement and Land Party. Unemployed Graduate Movement and Land Party. So they marched from the Durban Christian Center to the High Court. Wow, eh? I don't know what to say. It's the level of ignorance and stupidity on so many different levels. The masks are to prevent the spread of COVID-19. But then to bring Adolf Hitler into it? Do you even know what happened in Nazi Germany and in Europe from around 1933 all the way to 1945? You know? Gas chambers, millions of people, men, women, children, babies, murdered. You cannot compare. It's so insulting. It's insane. It's so insulting to all the victims. All the victims of Adolf Hitler. Come on, just pull yourself together. You can't be that stupid, but unfortunately you are. It's very upsetting. It's very worrying. It's very worrying that we share oxygen. We share space with people who are so stupid and ignorant. I don't know what to say. What do I say? It's an indictment on our education system. Education system. Do we have an education system? It's so scary. And now these same political parties, let's call it the ANC for argument's sake, that has supplied this terrible education that people don't know the difference between Adolf Hitler and our health ministry. They want you to still vote for them. So you're going to vote for them again? You're going to vote for them again? So the ANC released its manifesto. I've never read a manifesto. Have you ever read a manifesto? I reckon the people that have read the manifesto are the people that wrote the manifesto. Who else has read the manifesto? Who sits and reads all the manifestos? I mean, I spoke about this yesterday. Because on paper, we can all have fantastic manifestos. You can have the most brilliant I'm sure if you read everyone's manifesto, they all look like fantastic manifestos. But it all comes down to action. How you behave in public, what you say, what you do, what you put on Twitter. That's what counts at the end of the day. And of course, your track record. Your track record. Well, we'll see. Your vote's on the 1st of November. Let's see what happens. Is it going to be as predictable as always? Did you see, they had the elections, the general elections in Germany on Sunday. They had the Berlin Marathon on at the same time. I watched the Berlin Marathon. Wow, these guys can run, hey? Anyway, that's another story. Let's not get into that. Okay, let me just get into it very briefly. We talk about the Me Too movement. We talk about equal rights, equal recognition for men and women. I'm watching the men's marathon. They're focusing on the men's marathon. I watched the last half an hour. They're focusing on the men's marathon. It's the men's marathon. It's the men's marathon. Go, all the time. Then they show the winners, the men's marathon, the runners, they finish. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Then it's, oh, by the way, just a little mention. Oh, there's the leader of the women's race. And then they show the woman. She's got about 2 kilometers left to go. So they show the female, the winner, and the woman comes second, and that's it. So they focus 99.99% of their television coverage on the men's race, and the women's race gets a little mention at the end. How it's, from a television point of view, I suppose it's difficult to commentate on both at the same time, and you can't have them split up. In other words, you can't have the women's marathon starting 2 hours after the men's marathon, because then the broadcast length is just too long for the broadcast. But they got to do better. They just got to do better. They got to do something different. They can. They got the technology. Go 50-50. You're showing the men, you're showing the women. It's the marathon. It's not the 800 meters. It's not the 100 meters. Things don't change that quickly. Spend 2 minutes on the men, 2 minutes on the women, 2 minutes on the men. Backwards. Why don't they do that? That's what they should do. That's what I think. Yeah. Anyway, where was I? R. Kelly. I woke up this morning to see that R. Kelly was convicted. Federal jury. He's been found guilty in his sex trafficking trial. They found him guilty, and he spent 25 years luring women and underage girls into his world of sex and rape and slavery and just the weirdest. I mean, he would keep a woman prisoner and not feed her. Wow. So the 54-year-old Kelly is found guilty on all 9 counts he faced. It was a 5.5 week trial. And people were happy. It's at least, that's the end. One woman watching from the overflow courtroom, she was crying as the verdict was read. She was crying. Turns out she was one of his lawyers that he dumped earlier on, and she's probably crying because there's going to be an appeal, all those fees, and she's not, no, just kidding. Obviously one of the victims or a relative of a victim or whatever. Look, I hope justice has been done. But the thing is with this R. Kelly story that makes you think, and one of the main themes of it all is that it took years and years and years of rumors, that only years, it took 20 years for someone to say, hey, let's see what's going on here. What's happening? Yeah. So this kind of thing shouldn't have been allowed to happen. But that's, you get these big superstars, and they just a law unto themselves. So that's ended. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of a sentence R. Kelly gets. Will he get life? What kind of a prison will he get sent to? Would he be playing tennis? What kind of a, maximum security? Medium security? What kind of a thing? But it's an illness, it's a sickness. It just is. Because the man couldn't control himself. Just couldn't control himself. It's crazy. Just terrible, terrible, terrible. And, speaking of illness, so, I don't know, this may be before your time. You remember Ronald Reagan, former President Ronald Reagan of America? So the man who tried to kill him, the man who shot 5 times, John Hinckley. So John Hinckley, I thought he had been released quite a while ago. He was released quite a while ago into the custody of his mother. But then his mother passed away recently. So basically, he was released back in 2016. Now his mother has passed on. So John Hinckley has now been freed. He was found not guilty, by the way, back in 1982 for reasons of insanity. He is now free. He's just got limited internet use. I don't know what limited internet use means. Like, what is he? Limited to the gun websites? Like, how do you limit? Because I suppose you can, you filter the internet? List of presidents. If you want to look at the list of US presidents, filter that away, I reckon. Definitely. Filter list of actresses, because at the time, John Hinckley, I could be wrong. I think John Hinckley said he shot Reagan. Something to do with I forgot the actress's name. Oh no, man. That's embarrassing. Oh dear. Maybe it'll come back to me. Jodie Foster. It's something to do with Jodie Foster. He thought that Jodie Foster. He was something to do with Jodie Foster. Don't remember the details. So all lists of American actresses on the internet verboten. And you know what? If they come to me with some recommendations, I would say porn. Porn might trigger frustrations. I would include women's beach volleyball, synchronized swimming, and maybe the diving. I'm just saying. And I won't go into a list of all the porn websites because I'm not au fait with them all. But whoever's in charge, who's in charge of filtering John Hinckley's internet? Who decides what they must filter? I put my daughter's YouTube on restricted. I did. Didn't really work so well. It's still the one day we're listening. She's playing. There was a rap song, and there was fuck this and fuck that. What? I don't know what. We grabbed it. We tried to delete the YouTube app. Now my daughter's got an Android cell phone. What the Android cell phone will not allow you to delete YouTube. It says unable to delete app. What is with that? I don't know. Listen, I'm not an expert. I don't know what damage we've done now. What damage have we done to our child? Don't know. Eh? Sure. Yeah. Anyway. President Biden, good news, he received his COVID-19 booster shot yesterday on camera, and it was the Pfizer. So he had 2 Pfizers before. He's had the 3rd booster shots. So in America, they've recommended people from the age of 65 and people with comorbidities must get the booster shot. So we got still a long way to go with our situation here in South Africa. When are we going to get our booster shots? Because we've got people throwing their masks away. We've got a whole lot of drama. Okay, so we'll just have to monitor the situation and let's just see what happens.